You did
here.
it. You did
finally,
it.
right? Like after how many months of trying to
Yeah,
coordinate this,
we've been
right?
trying to make this happen for a
Yeah.
long time because I'm a fan. I was a fan of Samir's Eats,
Yeah. Is that
and
how we met?
I think we just met
Yeah.
through Instagram or something because I
Right,
follow
right.
your account. So for our listeners, Samir is like the halal foodie king. He is your go-to source for any halal food restaurants, and he scours the country and finds like whatever city he's in, he finds like bomb ass halal.
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
bomb ass halal goes all in like the
Yeah,
same
well,
sentence. It's
well,
kind of
that
ironic.
first word we can't really
Yeah,
say
but he
that.
finds the best halal
Yeah.
food in any city that he's in, and
Right.
he shares it with the world. And you've been sponsored by Food Network. You've been working with no. But I feel like you've been collaborating with them. I've seen you
No,
at their events and
yeah,
stuff.
what happens is I connect with the personalities from Food Network,
Okay.
and I share my passion with them, and then they become fans. Like Robert Irvine knows me. Like if you tell him Samir, he'll be like, oh yeah, he's my friend, my good friend. But yeah, and then recently I had Ali Khan, who's also on the Food Network and Cooking Channel. I had him on one of my episodes. My last episode dropped a couple weeks ago. We highlighted food trucks in Austin, halal food
And
trucks.
this is on your YouTube,
My
your
YouTube,
YouTube
yeah,
channel.
yeah, my
Okay.
YouTube channel, Samir's Eats.
It's so good. We were all
yeah.
watching clips from it, and it's
Sure.
so well done and well produced. And you like tell these stories of all these different people all over the country, and you get to like know their families and stuff. That's so cool.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I like that you take that perspective. Like these are family-owned restaurants, which is what you're doing. I think is great for the Muslim community because other media tends to show Muslims not in this light.
Yeah.
So I think what you're doing is wonderful in that way. And also, food is such a big part of our culture, and people forget that like food brings family and friends together, and it's like something that really is embraced in our community. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I mean, food, I say this, and it's very cliche, food brings people together. Like, I don't care what you follow, what you believe in, like, as long as we have some good food together, or, and it's halal for me, so we're good.
Have you, because you've traveled so much, do you interact with people where you have, like, very different beliefs, but you are there any stories you have of that?
Yeah, so, okay, actually last night, I was with my friend from high school, Dave Karajilian. He's Armenian, and he's
Shout out to Dave.
Dave, yeah. I believe he's Christian, Catholic, I'm not sure, but
is this in Orange County? Because I know you're
I was in I was at the ICANN barbecue, and they actually have a halal menu. Like
ICANN, the restaurant, has a halal menu.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
there you
you
go,
ask
folks.
them, right? Yeah, they have it, and and Dave obviously, he came along, and we both enjoyed ourselves last night. And then he asked something very interesting. He goes, Samir, I want to cook for you. Like, what will it take for me to get you to my house, and how can I make it halal? That way you could eat my food. So I told him, look, just go to the halal meat market and get the meat, and just don't cross-contaminate. I gave him simple instructions. And that's it. Like, and I asked him, like, what do you have in mind? He's like I don't know, like a ribeye steak. So I actually gave him the name and the location of a halal meat market. I was like, just go there, tell them, you're a friend of Samir's, because they know me at the meat market, and they'll hook you up with whatever.
Does every meat market across the country, do they all know you? Does every halal meat market know who Samir's Eats it?
Maybe.
Can we go into exactly what halal is? Because we were
sure.
describing it as like Muslim kosher, but like it's
so
it's a specific way to eat, right?
Different people have different definitions of halal and different types of halal that they eat. So can you go into kind of your definition of halal and
right? So halal in its meaning means permissible, right? Or what is allowed. So, like for me, it's halal to drink this water.
And this is in Arabic, right?
And this is in Arabic, right?
It's not halal food is not just the halal cart chicken and rice that you guys are used to eating from around the world.
Like she mentioned it when I told her I'm a halal food blogger. She goes, "Oh yeah, I love halal guys," and I was like, "Oh yeah, halal guys."
I know that there's.
But there's other.
I was describing to Haley that that's a halal.
Because it's like the generic halal. It's like it's like the stamp of America now. Like that.
Yeah.
Guys,
I was just
even Cardi talks about it in one of her songs.
Of course,
like
eating halal. And speaking of Cardi, I did an episode at Big Al. Shout out to Big Al's in Maywood. She loves her wings. Like she goes
Maywood. Where's Maywood?
Maywood, California.
In
Like, yeah,
okay, dope.
So
She loves halal wings.
she loves their wings. Yeah,
Okay,
she loves her
cool.
wing, Big Al's, and actually it's in my. I got the clip of her in my episode, like
That's
saying
so
it.
cool.
It's like Big Al's. I drove. She's like I drove like an hour for this. But yeah, like so yeah, it's catching on, and I mean, to getting back to the definition.
Yeah.
You know, it has to do with how the meat's slaughtered, and people do have different definitions of what halal is. You'll hear a term called zabiha, which you know when they put that in there, that really means it's hand slaughtered. Okay, then there's plants that do machine slaughter. So there's always that debate going on whether it's hand slaughter, machine slaughter, is it halal. Some people interpret halal as, hey, look, it's permissible to eat, so you can go eat whatever McDonald's or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like, it
And
doesn't
some
have to
people
be-
say that like if there's a sign that's saying it's certified halal
Yeah,
or whatever, like you're open to eat whatever you want. But
Yeah,
there's some
as-
people who don't trust that.
Right.
So
There's
then where
people
do they
they'll
go?
go into the kitchens, they'll ask the chef, they want to see proof.
That's my dad. My dad is one of those
yeah,
uncles. He's one of
yeah.
those Pakistani uncles that will go in, make friends with the chef,
Yeah.
see who's back there and stuff. And I'm like, it's frustrating and embarrassing for
It
me,
is,
but
it is,
like
yeah.
for him to have peace of mind that
Sure.
he knows that he's eating
Halal.
what he feels is halal,
Yeah,
like that's
yeah.
for him. So
Yeah, and that's how I am. Look, I mean, if I go into a halal restaurant and, you know, it looks halal, meaning, you know, they'll have the certificates and, you know, people know it's halal, it's a known person in the community, I'll feel very comfortable with it. But if it's like one of those restaurants that are not really Muslim owned and people say, oh, they have halal, I'll ask, you know, where it's from and where they're getting the food from, only because, or the meat from rather, because, you know, I don't know, like, because you got to be careful with when you're dealing with a non-halal restaurant, because they could switch suppliers, and you know, they're not there really to, hey man, like I'm keeping halal because of this. Some may do that because to serve the Muslim community, but look, they could switch it up. So you got to ask every time. Like you can't be like, oh, it's going to be halal forever, you know. So
yeah, so it makes
Where-
it complicated, right?
yeah, it
Like,
makes
for
it. I mean,
people.
but we appreciate it. You
Yeah.
know, the people that do it, they don't realize it. If you ever go to a Restaurant Depot, I like around Thanksgiving, I like to smoke turkeys. So I'll go and I'll find the halal turkeys. Then you'll see a guy who doesn't appear to be Muslim buying a bunch of halal turkeys for his restaurant, and you're like, yo, what restaurant do you work for? You know, because you know, like technically we could eat it as long as you're
Yeah.
not putting anything else in there, right?
Yeah.
So.
And where does this come from? Like, where does it in Islam? Like, where does it state that that's
So
like a way to eat?
yeah, so it's in the Quran. There's a verse in there, and I'm totally gonna botch it up because I don't know it offhand, but it's pretty much eat what is lawful to you. I gotta look it up,
it's-
but,
yeah.
or I'll show it to you later. Like
Yeah, yeah.
you know, so
So it's from the
But-
Quran.
Yeah, it's in
Yeah.
the Quran.
Yeah, so-
People take it very seriously.
yeah.
And it kind of so we have this website that a
Right.
lot of my religious friends use. It's called zabiha.com.
Zabiha.com, yeah,
It's
Shah-
basically our Yelp
Yeah.
of halal restaurants and food and stuff like that. Is that something that you use as a tool to find when you're
Yeah.
traveling to places, or
Yeah,
do you feel
so-
like you have your own list and people just reach out to you?
So in the beginning, that's what I was doing, and I still do. Okay. Shout out to Shah the Manala. That's his website. He's a good friend of mine. Excuse me. Sorry. Now you got me like looking here, but
Are you looking up
but
the Quran
but
first?
but yeah. Okay. He only. Oh yeah. Quran. Oops. Sorry. Getting a phone call.
How many phones do you have, Samir?
Two.
I looked up the definition.
Yeah. Wait. What am I doing?
You
Oh.
Siri'd the
Oh,
definition of Quran.
God. He only prohibits for you to eat the
Siri,
animals.
look up this
that
Islamic
dies.
text on halal.
Yeah. So,
so
let's
funny.
keep it simple. Don't eat pork. You know, make sure it's halal. There's a lot of farms that are supplying restaurants out there. So a lot of there's mainstream farms out there that supply halal meat too.
Yeah, so I got this
Yeah.
list a while ago. Like
Yeah.
one of them was like Outback Steakhouse has halal
Like Australian lamb. as well,
Australian
yeah.
lambs, and I've also heard that a lot of the lamb that's sold in this
Yeah.
country, that's halal because it comes from like specific places in like New
Yeah.
Zealand or whatever, which are halal farms.
So
Can you kind of like
yeah,
explain
that.
elaborate on whether it's a myth or not?
Yeah, so like the thing with lamb and beef, so New Zealand and Australia tend to be huge exporters of halal meat. It's like a fact. Like it's one of the largest countries. Both countries, New Zealand and Australia. So you'll hear a lot about that as long as it's Australian that it may be halal, right? So best thing is just to check in with the chef. And there was for Outback, I heard about that. I don't think I ever had it. I will give a recent example of my birthday party in New York City, Mastro's.
Which was recent.
Very
Happy
recent.
belated.
Thank you.
Hey.
July 29th.
So you're a Leo.
I am, yeah.
That
Rawr.
means you're kind of crazy.
That's why we're here, right?
No comment.
But Mastro Steakhouse has one cut. It's an Australian Wagyu. Okay.
Okay.
It's supplied by Broadleaf Farms. It's called Broadleaf something. Anyway, but it's Broadleaf Farms. On their website, it's halal certified. You'll see that and it's Australian specifically, not their other steaks. You have to look for the Australian. So we made sure that Mastro's had that. And
does Mastros prepare it like separately and all of that? They have their own.
Yeah. So in my contract, when we were working out the details, the coordinator she put that all in there. She put that all in there, and sorry, thank you. Yeah. Whoa, sorry. Yeah. So she put that in there to make sure it's not cross contamination. It's separate from the other meats, and that the grills are clean. So that's something I specify, and they take it seriously, so they don't want a lawsuit.
That's awesome. So how did you start on this journey?
Yeah.
Because you work in finance too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have like a grown up day job,
Yeah.
like us.
Yep.
You're like one of the, and this is why we became friends because we're both kind
Sure.
of like.
Have the same.
We're trying to be good Muslim kids, doing the stable career thing, but then also pursuing our creative passions, and which is like ultimately becoming another career.
Right.
Do you-
Exactly. That's what happens.
Does your family and friends? I assume they love this because
yeah.
it's so like.
Oh yeah,
great for
my
the culture.
initially I remember when I first started doing it, like it was cool. Like my siblings were all supportive, right? And then eventually like my
'Cause
dad.
You're providing a really great service to the community. as
Yeah,
well,
and you know what? I never saw it like that. I did it for fun. And so people, when they come up in the street or at a restaurant, they see me, they like sincerely thank me. They go, "Thank you. Like we're here because of you, or we're here because of you."
I've been to so many places just because they
Yeah.
showed up on your Instagram stories.
Yeah,
so-
you give them that boost.
Yeah.
That Samir's eats bump.
Yeah. People, and the question I get from people, "Oh, do you make any money off this?" Like, and to be honest,
we get that question too.
and I'm just like, what does it matter? It's my passion. Like, if
Do you
I
think
don't-
that's an annoying question?
It
I get
is.
a little annoyed.
I get
when
annoyed.
people
I
ask
think
that.
it's like, what is it to you? Like, is that all that matters to you? Like money? Is that how shallow you are?
Do you have a question?
Oh yeah, I realize the lights aren't on. Haley, I realize the lights aren't on. It's okay. Yeah, good.
Great. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no. So
Is it an annoying question?
it's
How
annoying.
do you respond tactfully?
I just tell them, look, this is my passion. The money will come if it's meant to be. Like I have a job that provides me, so I'm like, alhamdulillah, I'm blessed. So
Too blessed
it'll
to
be
stressed,
nice, like
right?
because that's what people are focused on, right? Followers and money and this and that. I just go with the flow, man. Like my Instagram is my life. Like you look
Yeah.
at my life through through their lens, right? So through your phone. And that's really what it is. Like, I'm not there to, like, it'd be nice to have a ton of followers. I should be at, like, 1 million followers on YouTube and all that, right? But, I haven't made it, like, my priority to do that, because I have a full-time job and I have other things. The people that do have that kind of a following are just doing that. and
Yeah.
doing
Yeah,
the
we
talk
were
about
just
this,
talking
right?
about that, how like vloggers who do it like every week, every day, like it's kind of like their whole life, and I could totally see us like going insane trying to do that, trying to get followers, trying to
Yeah.
get likes.
chasing the clout, all of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But then, you know, that becomes its own problem. And
Yeah.
also, it doesn't pay as well. Like, people
No.
think there's very few people that, like, make a very good living doing that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, like, I know people who have millions of followers on Instagram who are couch surfing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I was just gonna
We
say.
know comedians like that. With like a lot of your favorite internet comedians. I'm telling you,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not.
And also part of the problem is that they like people see that they have all these followers and they're like, oh, like I'm not gonna Patreon or Venmo or whatever
Sure.
because like
Yeah.
they have so many followers, they must be doing great. But that
Yeah.
does not translate to dollars.
Yeah.
Right. It's funny you mentioned Patreon. I was thinking of doing that to fund these videos because my thing is, if I
It does get expensive, and
It
you
gets
have
expensive, yeah.
great quality videos. So
So
I know,
good.
I
Yeah.
know you're putting in a lot of your own like
Right.
personal money
Yeah.
on that.
And it's always been like that. And so going back to the question, well, how do you pay for this? I go, it's out of pocket. Like they go, are you making money? I'm like, not really. And they go, oh, but you're on YouTube, this and that. I'm like, yeah, the YouTube check that comes in, like barely covers a tank of gas. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
It's like
So
a
little.
percentage of a penny for every
yeah,
view. Based
and now
on what
it's even
sponsors you
worse.
have.
Like
yeah.
from what I understand, the algorithms change and
Yeah.
all those people that are making the big money off YouTube, it's not the same. You know, it's
Yeah.
probably, you know,
And there was
diminished.
I forget what his name is, but the one guy who like went viral when YouTube came out, and he like Russell Simmons paid him like I don't know like 25 or 50K or something like that, and now he's like homeless and he has like no like, and he was the
Wow.
first, he was like the first guy to like go viral and have this mentality
Yeah.
about it, and yeah, he's just
Yeah. It's such a fickle business, which is,
Yeah.
you know, coming from, you know, like all of our parents, it's like, well,
Yeah.
don't give up your day job
Yeah,
unless you
yeah.
know, this is going to,
Yeah.
to feed you.
And more
Yeah.
power to those people that are doing it.
Yeah.
You know, that
I
kind
mean,
of,
I think that's a big risk to take,
Yeah,
and
for
I
sure.
appreciate people who do that. But for me personally, I couldn't do it, and I understand
you
where you're
can't.
at too.
Yeah.
You know,
You need your job. You need the paycheck.
you need a 401k.
You need the health insurance, right?
Okay, so can we transition into the health part? Because
Yeah, sure.
okay, so I've been a fan of yours for a while, and
Yeah.
I'm just like wonder like of how much red meat you eat, and it was like this
And
guy
what
is
it's
grilling nonstop,
ooh.
like and it's beautiful the way and his
Yeah.
production and all of that. But then because I talked to him like, do
Oh.
you eat like this every day?
Yeah,
Like,
do you cook for yourself too?
Yeah, I get that question too. So, do I cook for myself? I grill. I tell people I don't really cook. So,
That's a
don't
fun-
expect
but you
me to-
marinate like
Yeah,
you,
that's
yeah,
counts.
yeah. I'll prepare like
you really care about
me
the food
and
that you
me and the
eat.
grill,
Yeah.
like best buddies at home.
Yeah.
Like the grill and the smoker. So I have
Mhm.
two things that I use. So yeah, I love grilling red meat. And to answer your question about eating every day, I try not to, and I've had a little health scare, and I actually talk about it on another podcast I did in Chicago. But yeah, I had kidney stones. They call me a kidney stone former, like recurring kidney stones. So
Okay.
I'm on medication. I take 2 pills, horse pills in the morning and 2 at night.
Yeesh.
Potassium citrate for
Right.
anybody wondering. That helps, I guess. So what happens from red meat is you get a uric acid, right? So uric acid causes gout and other issues like kidney stones. So when they test my
Which is
kidney
why a
stones,
lot of the kings in like the old days they had gout because all they ate
they
was
call
red
it
meat. Yeah.
what do they call it? The
Ooh.
rich man's disease.
Yeah.
They call it,
Yeah,
right?
for
So,
sure.
that and seafood causes that. So, of course, the things I love, right?
Yeah.
But what I try to do is I try to limit the red meat intake now to like max like 2-3 times a week. It went from every day to, so you got to understand even that's a lot, like
Yeah.
the 2 to 3. But you got to start somewhere. You can't just go cold turkey.
Yeah.
But I will say with the medication, and everything, I've been doing better. You know, I do get
Good.
stones here and there, but it's not like what it used to be where I was going through surgeries.
Oh.
And one major surgery was, the kidney stone was 3 centimeters.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's
that
big.
sounds so
Oh, that's
painful.
so. I know.
I had to go through my back.
Yeesh.
They
So,
stuck a tube in through my back.
so
and
have you
chiseled it out.
changed your lifestyle? I know, like you
Yeah.
cut down on the red meat, but it seems like you're working out a lot more. Like I see that in your
Yeah,
travels
yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff. And
That's good.
I should be working out a lot more. Shout out to Danny, my trainer. he encourages me to
Shout
work
out to all the personal trainers.
Yeah,
that
all the
deal,
personal trainers
that
that are
deal
hustling.
with us.
Then deal with me, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel bad, like because I know he wants me to get into shape and all that, and then here I am, LA, boom, eating this Cheeto burrito and this. and
Yeah.
that.
Do you ever like lie to your personal trainer? Like, because I feel like when people go
Yeah.
into their doctors, they like don't want to tell them the truth. like,
No, because Danny's following me. Like Danny
He's gonna
sees
see
everything.
it.
Yeah.
He says, see it. Like,
that's
I-
part of it. You
what are you
can't
gonna lie
like you can't when you're in the public eye. You can't
yeah,
fake
you're
anything.
not,
And
Danny is like,
and
"Oh,
your
I see
viewers
you,
want
bro."
to see you eating red meat
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
'cause
they wanna
that's,
see
you
that.
know,
It's
kind
fun,
of like
right?
brought you on. But
like
Yeah.
red meat, like Instagram story, and then workout Instagram
Right.
story. You have to
Right,
like
right.
alternate them.
Yeah. No, I mean the thing is with Danny, like, so Danny knows. All right, we're in this situation. You're a food blogger, and I'm like, look, at least I'm working out, right? So imagine I didn't work out. What would happen then, right? Like,
Yeah.
I look at it that way.
Yeah.
Like, well, I did lose like 10 pounds, and then I think I gained half of it back. But hey, I'm hoping to get a couple workouts in here in LA with another trainer. So
That's
Just-
good that
I'm
you're like.
surrounded by like healthy people.
You
and trainers,
are, you
But
are.
like, I'm not like there yet. so.
question: Are you working out at Equinox?
No.
Good.
No.
That's a problem lately.
No, no, not Equinox. no,
Yeah.
no,
So for
no,
those
I-
who
yeah.
haven't heard, if you're
Yeah.
living under a rock,
Yeah.
the CEO of Equinox did a fundraiser for Trump, and so a lot of people are now
Right.
basically protesting Equinox and SoulCycle, which is essentially
Yeah.
the same company.
Yeah.
So I'm
They
just
also
asking
had
people.
they also had a list that included like Taco Bell for like Trump donors. Like there's
Yeah.
a lot of fast food restaurants. I don't know.
I
like,
mean, they're corporations, and
Yeah.
under a
Yeah.
Trump administration, or really most
Yeah.
Republican administrations, if you're a big corporation, you're gonna fund the Republican candidate because,
Yeah, tax breaks and stuff.
yeah,
right.
exactly.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, it's the world we live in.
Yeah,
But-
no, I don't work out. Actually, I work out at a private gym called Chaos in Englewood, New Jersey. So
have
I
you
work out there, and
have you met any like through all your travels? Have you met any like Muslim Trump supporters? Has that ever happened?
actually,
Are there any that
I
exist?
I think there are.
No,
There-
there are.
There
There are.
definitely
Well,
are.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I do know
Yeah.
plenty of Muslims who are Republicans.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
But
that
I
I
don't
know.
know any who've like openly said. I mean, it's a very quiet
I know
thing.
one.
I know a
Do
lot
you
of.
Yeah, he was campaigning for him and everything, and everyone was like,
Oh,
"What
so
is
let's
wrong
out
with
him
you?"
if he's campaigning for him.
I don't know if he still is now. This
Okay.
was like back in the,
When
and
he was
then he
winning.
kind of like
Oh, he dropped
Yeah.
down.
dropped down.
Okay,
well, at
least
he's
he, like,
under a
learned.
rock.
Yeah.
Maybe he
You
learned.
know?
Yeah, I don't know.
But
You don't
yeah.
hear him anymore. and-
Well, okay, so
It's just interesting
Yeah.
because like you have this love
Yeah.
of food, we have this love of comedy, we meet all these different people, and you want to connect over something, but you also
Yep.
want to like maintain your views and stuff.
Yeah,
And so
wow.
especially when you travel, you meet all these different people. Like how do you connect with people who have like such different political
yeah,
views or whatever?
and you know, I have followers on Instagram that are open Trump supporters. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they're there, but you know what? They're looking at my life through a different lens, right?
Yeah.
Right.
They know I'm Muslim. They know that. So, just spread the positivity, right? Like,
Yeah.
show the good, and
I've been
that's
thinking
kinda-
how
about
much
this
more
with Queer
positive
Eye.
can you get
Yeah.
than like good food? You know?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the cookouts bring everybody
For sure,
together,
for
you know,
sure.
left or right.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely. Yeah, no, it brings people together, and people will ask, like, "Oh, so what is exactly in there?" And it'll open up the questions,
Yeah.
which is fine. Like, you know, we'll answer them.
So
Yeah.
like let's go back to this journey. What made you start? So you were always eating halal. You grew up eating halal,
Yep.
I'm assuming. And then so what made you want to, you know, kind of like showcase what you were doing?
Yeah, so like I was mentioning to both of you earlier, I started because like our family's a food family. My mom cooks amazing food,
Yeah.
and I'm a foodie that likes to eat. So it just eventually I developed a palate. And my sister, what I was doing was I was posting photos of food, right, on my personal Facebook. Now this is Facebook before what it is today. Like this was like the college only Facebook,
Okay.
where it was only like a college
was like
network. You have to
the-
be in
like my
the
college.
mid,
older
the
brother.
mid
Right.
2000s,
Yeah.
the mid aughts.
Exactly.
You're
So
talking about like 05, 06.
right. So
Okay.
this was around that time.
Yeah.
And I was doing that, and then Zabiha was around too, and I would use Zabiha to get around and find my halal spots. And what I thought was missing from that experience, but it's cool. We have a record of where to go. We go here, go there, and maybe a couple pictures or something.
Yeah.
But there's no like actual video of the place. I was like, well, what if I want to bring my mom or my sister? Like, is it a cabbie joint? Is it like, will they feel comfortable in this environment? You know.
Yeah.
So the whole idea was to kind of show a pan of the restaurant, meet the owner, right, and get to know the owner and obviously the food and see
I
what
think
to order.
that's so smart because
right?
that honestly, what you did, that
Yeah.
didn't exist before. And a lot of the
Right.
halal places that I went to with my family, they were all like cab
Yeah,
spots, you know.
yeah,
So
yeah.
my parents were like, "Yeah, this is not a family friendly place."
Yeah, yeah.
So we would only go to like 2 places growing up
yeah.
ever because those were the only places that my
Right.
parents were like, "Okay, we can bring you guys and
Yeah,
enjoy
absolutely.
the meal." So
Yeah, because the thing is, and there's nothing against cabbie joints. Actually, they happen to have like some of the best food.
oh yeah, the food's
but
great.
but you know, like who wants to be
But you-
stared down while you're eating? Like
You can't bring your 6-year-old daughter
no,
to,
you can't.
it's
You
just
can't. It's just
yeah.
it's not gonna work out. But that was like the whole idea, and really show like the beauty of a restaurant and their food, and so people see it on YouTube,
Yeah.
and then they know what to expect when they go
Mhm.
in, right? And it's crazy. Like I'll take complaints from people. Like I went to this place and the guy treated me like crap and blah blah
People
blah.
are
and,
giving you
like,
complaints.
yeah, like
what is
I
that?
become like a mediator
That's so funny.
automatically between the halal restaurants. You know.
Do you get really
and,
into it? Or are you like, okay, hold on, let me call him
I
up?
do.
Like,
Look,
oh,
look,
that's
man.
nice.
And then you
Is
know.
this like
It's very-
Jerry Springer level?
Very, yeah, it's like-
It's very like community based. Though,
you know what?
right?
Honestly, you should just create a separate series
For
the
just
drama.
like all
The
the drama,
yeah.
halal
Yeah,
drama.
Yeah.
Spill the chai.
Yeah.
So
Yes, there you go.
I'm gonna also answer something that comes up. They go, people will approach me and say, "Hey, how come you don't say anything bad about the place?"
Ah.
So the show, the whole vision of the show was to highlight top halal restaurants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why am I gonna pay a camera guy, waste my time, my limited time that I have,
Yeah.
and
Spend
go
your
talk
own money.
Right, spend my
people
own
be
money on a bad
spending your-
restaurant. Like,
Exactly.
what am I gonna do that?
Exactly.
So
and
these
you're
are
eating there too, right? So you want it to
Exactly.
be a good
So
experience.
Positivity.
Yeah.
Yeah, so these are restaurants that I've been to, I've experienced, and if I had a great experience and I love the food, then I'm going to put you on my show. If it's like, okay, 50-50, because along with, it's not just food, it's service too, right?
Yeah.
Without service, you know, you got to have both. Like,
Yeah.
not, you know, treating your customers like crap, yelling at your employees in front of people. You know, I've seen
That's
so
what
much
some
stuff,
of the,
right.
the cab spots.
Right.
That's what they don't have the service, and
Right.
you kind of hear some
And it's
profane things
inconsistent,
during
too.
dinner. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Like you'll be waiting for your food for like an hour, or someone will come in like after you and get their food first, and they didn't order ahead of time; they ordered after you. And
yeah.
like things like I notice things when I'm in a restaurant. I'm just observing silently the first time, just looking around. I don't tell
Are
people
y-
who I am.
Are
Whatever.
you ever able to like relax at restaurants, or is it, you're like on whenever you go?
No, I relax, but I keep my antennas up.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
just kind of scanning, seeing what's going on,
Mm-hmm.
and I try to feel out the owners, the management too, to see if they're cool. Are they like friendly people?
Yeah.
And that's how I hit it off with them. Because once I see they're cool, I love the food, whatever. Like I just went to this Afghan restaurant in Queens after the Yankees game last week, and it was the
Did
first
they
time
win?
there.
Did the Yankees win?
Yes, they did. It was
Okay,
against,
good. So you were
Baltimore.
in for a celebration.
Yeah, so I went right after, and there was a spot that was open till 11 in Astoria, and I can't think of the exact name of it. I think it was Afghan kebab something, right? But I went there because the reviews were great, all that. Walk in, nice little ambiance, and the owner came, you know, he greeted you, and you know, everyone was nice. The waiter was nice, so everything went smooth, and the food came out. It was delicious. And then the guy gave us like tea and dessert on the house because it was our first time. And then afterwards, I told him, "Hey, I have a halal food blog, and you know what? This spot lived up to my standards. It was really good. Really appreciate it, and you know, good luck to you." So then now I have a relationship with that owner.
Yeah.
So next time I come in, he'll know, and you know. So who knows? We may do an episode there.
Do
down
people
the
like
line.
reach out to you knowing that you have the blog?
Yeah,
and they're like,
yeah.
oh, I
of
want you to
course.
highlight.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then do you have
Yeah.
to like reject anyone?
I reject new restaurants.
Oh.
I reject new restaurants, and I'll tell you why. I filmed that 2 new restaurants to help them out. Like, if I go on my Instagram and do it, that's a different story. That's all right. I'm gonna give you the like, hey, I'm checking this place out for the first time. I'm gonna shout them out.
But for
I
your
won't,
YouTube series,
right?
you don't
gotta
wanna
be
do new restaurants.
you got to be consistent.
Yeah.
Like, meaning you got to have those stars, those reviews, and be around. My rule is at least 2 years in business.
Yeah, because it's a
Why?
very
Yeah,
a
because
quick
I'm
turnover.
from finance. I used to work in banking, so you needed to have 2 years of your tax return to apply for a loan for an
That's so
SBL,
funny.
right? It was a small business loan. So I kind of use their guidelines.
Right.
Because look, what do they say? 70% of restaurants fail in the first year.
Yeah.
And what happened? 2 restaurants I filmed that I had to, the video was a waste. Yeah, because
You couldn't post it because they weren't. That's
I
annoying.
posted it and I put it. If you read the caption, it'll say this restaurant is closed. This is for entertainment purposes only. Just watch it.
Yeah.
And that's
So-
frustrating because you yourself, you're an
Yeah.
investor in your own
Sure.
web series,
And
right?
you work
so
hard.
it's
and,
a bad investment.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like that's a great boundary for you to have.
Right.
And it's
so,
understandable.
And so when people reach out to me with new restaurants, I'm like, look, I'll come visit.
Yeah.
We'll eat and stuff. We'll maybe make a post on the story, but I ain't filming there.
And I do like that like your stories
Yeah.
on Instagram is like everywhere you visit.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, and I like that because it actually is a way for new restaurants, new
Sure.
halal restaurants to get people in. Because for
Yeah.
anyone who follows you, they're like, oh, I didn't know this
Sure.
was a restaurant. I didn't know they just opened up. You
Yeah,
know,
no,
so that's
and
pretty cool.
yeah. So we'll do that. Like we'll do
Yeah.
like a highlight of
So
that.
you still have a platform to showcase
yeah,
those people.
yeah. I got a lot of questions. Oh, how was it? This and that, and I don't talk a lot about like how it was and stuff on my stories. I just go eat it, highlight it, and then that's it. And I don't know why I don't, but I
Do
just want
you-
people to experience it for themselves.
When
That's
you
all.
walk into a place that you've just researched on your own and you go there,
Yeah.
do you ever get recognized?
So yeah, a lot of times it happens, but
'Cause you're
I'll
famous.
keep my
You're
cool,
foodie
though.
famous.
Yep.
I'll just do my thing and eat,
Yeah.
and then later on they'll come up and say, "Did you like it?" Yeah, like you notice they know because they'll ask you like constantly if you like it, and they'll hover, they'll be whispering to each other in the back, like you kind of know. like,
Yeah.
That's
but
so
they won't
funny.
like. I guess they don't know how to approach you.
Yeah.
Do you get like sent food? Like
Yeah,
free
They
food?
send you free
yeah,
stuff?
Hell yeah,
no,
dude.
I do like, in the mail. I get like let's say home cooks and stuff. Not home cooks, but like products and things like that.
That's so
They'll want me
great.
to try like cookies or something.
What are there's one frozen meal company that I saw.
Saffron Road.
Saffron Road. So
Shout out
can-
Saffron Road, my sponsor.
because they're the first ones that I've seen like
Yeah.
in like all the grocery stores and
Yes,
stuff. So
yes.
explain how this collaboration came about.
Yeah, so
Well, let's explain what Saffron Road is.
yeah,
for
so
people.
Saffron Road is like your microwave halal meal, but it's way better than like it sounds, right? A microwave
It's actually
meal.
pretty good. I mean,
It's really
there's
it's,
sodium in it
for what it is.
preservatives,
It's
but
good. It's
yeah.
gluten free.
Mm.
It's gluten free, halal, antibiotic
They have
free.
vegetarian options too.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
have like
yeah,
sog
yeah, they
paneer and
do,
all of
right.
that stuff.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll send you guys a couple coupons. How's
Okay,
that
hell
for
yeah.
some free?
We'll take some
yeah,
promo
I got them. Shout out
Oh,
Adnan
dope.
Durrani and Saffron Road for those.
Thanks, Saffron Road. You guys have been my dinners like multiple times a week
Yeah.
during like rough comedy.
They come in
schedules.
handy. Even
Yeah.
I know my nephews. They love like they have like other items. Like my mom loves her chickpeas. That's like the new thing they have. The
Mm-hmm.
Bombay chickpeas, a
Yeah.
little spicy.
Oh yeah, the dry ones.
Yeah, the dry
So good.
ones. Yeah. So, but yeah, so Saffron Road. I've known Adnan. Adnan Durrani is the CEO.
He's the
or
CEO.
He calls himself the CHO, Chief Halal Officer.
Oh, cute.
Yeah,
I'd
I
love
met
to get those guys on here
Yeah,
because
I
they're
mean,
they're like transforming the market too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Adnan's cool people. He would do that. Hopefully, right, Adnan, if you're listening.
If you're listening, okay.
But Adnan started this company a while ago. He used to run a water company, and he sold it off, I think in Vermont. And then he got into this business and hired some chefs to create these frozen foods, right? So they have chicken tikka masala, which is one of my favorite ones, and
I like their lamb. They have like a
yeah.
lamb,
the lamb sog.
the
whatever.
lamb sog,
Yep.
but they also have a sog paneer.
Oh,
They
yeah.
also have like a biryani or something. They
yeah.
have,
Yeah,
they
they-
have a
look,
long.
I like when people in the demographic get a hold of these, like like are able to like revolutionize it
Yeah.
before like other
Yeah.
people are.
Yeah.
Like it's so inspiring and it's great. that it
Yeah, they
benefits the
started
community.
off. I think Whole Foods. It could be. I might be wrong, but like
I've
one of the
seen it-
major ones is Whole Foods.
I've
right?
seen it at Ralph's, and when I saw it
Okay.
at Ralph's here and like my local West
Okay,
Hollywood Ralph's,
gotcha.
I was like new to LA and I was homesick, and I'm like, oh my god, I can have biryani
yeah, yeah.
tonight. Like it just made me feel like
Right.
a little piece of home. So it was pretty
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah, so I know that he's expanded now. Ralph's we don't have on the East Coast, but
Yeah.
yeah, I see it around here. And
Yeah.
he started in Whole Foods, and I think one year they Whole Foods reached out and or recognized him as having the most sold frozen product. Or I think it was
Oh wow.
yeah, it was like
Yeah.
something like that, like
Because
that year.
outside of it being halal, it's
Right.
actually pretty good. If you compare it, I've had a lot of like lean cuisines and
Yeah,
all of
yeah.
that, and like yeah, they're all like okay, and
Yeah.
they claim to be healthy and all of that stuff. But for
But
just a frozen
yeah.
meal, it's pretty good.
It's
Yeah,
also
'cause
like
he-
a good introduction for like other like demographics or whatever because like there I know so many people that are like I've never had Indian food, I've never had Pakistani like whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like if they're at the store and it's there, that's like a good pickup for
Yeah.
them to take home.
Yeah, I mean it's non-GMO. They also they go from you have organic, right? So there's different angles.
Yeah.
You could try it on, but it's
So how did the collaboration happen?
the collab just happened. He knows
Did they
me
find
on the food.
you? Did you find them?
No, we kind of known each other from similar spaces.
Yeah.
I guess I have to shout out AMCC, American Muslim Consumer Conference. They used to
Ooh.
have that down in Brunswick, where it was bringing halal brands together.
New Brunswick.
Yeah, is that
Not
your
everybody
old
knows what
stopping
Brunswick
ring?
is.
Yeah.
For our listeners, New Brunswick is where the main campus of Rutgers
Yes,
is
shout out
in
Rutgers.
Jersey, which is the most densely populated state of South Asians
Yeah.
in the country.
And we don't know each other from you went to Rutgers, right?
My sister went to Rutgers.
Okay, I went to Rutgers.
Half my
so-
high school went to Rutgers. I
Yeah,
didn't go to
everyone
Rutgers.
was like the
Um,
typical Indian like
Yeah.
college site.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, no, they had this conference, and that's where I was meeting a lot of the business leaders and
Mhm.
these different halal companies. And Adnan and I, we've known each other from there, and I've done halal food tours, like halal food festivals, and they were major sponsors of it. So from that, we've always had this relationship. And then one of my last videos, Fatima's Grill, that we shot over here in California. They were
That's
the
in. Is that in
sponsor.
Irvine? It's in
No, he's
Orange
Downey,
County,
Downey,
Downey.
Cal-
Okay,
California.
got it.
Shout out Ali. He took Lebanese fusion with Mexican and
Oh wow.
I gotta go.
Cheeto burrito.
Do you? Oh yeah, we were looking at the Cheeto. They add Cheetos to everything. I was
Oh
like,
my
this is wild.
god, I need to go there.
Do you? Are there any
Yeah.
food trucks that you like really like?
Food
'Cause
trucks.
that's like a
so,
huge thing in
yeah,
LA, right?
So New York.
getting bigger.
I mean, the food carts. We
Yeah.
we
I
have
mean,
more
there's
of those,
so many
but
halal
there's so
carts
many
in,
of
food
them.
in New York.
I've come to a point where I think I'm sick and tired of like the typical gyro and
Yeah.
chicken
Yeah.
and
Well,
stuff.
also
right?
health-wise, that can't be great for you
Yeah,
either, right?
yeah, it's
Especially now
just-
that you're like,
like-
trying to change your lifestyle a
Yeah,
little
like
bit.
I've been halal guys. That's stuff when I was like 15 years old.
We've
and
been
then
eating
we've
that
been
stuff
eating
since
that.
before college.
Like,
Bless you.
let's see, yeah,
Yep.
like 20 years plus, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like, and then I get restaurants that open up their new restaurant. It'll be like a gyro restaurant, like chicken and rice or something. And I'm like, man, it doesn't excite me. It doesn't excite me, and I don't even want to try it. Like,
Yeah.
What excites you?
something new, create like halal Korean barbecue last night.
That
That
was-
excites me.
Was that what you were looking
That's
for?
what I was
'Cause
last night.
You were at Halal Korean Barbecue last night?
Yeah, that's where I was with
Here?
my boy David. Yeah, in Irvine.
In Irvine.
It's
Okay.
called I Can Barbecue.
Okay.
And they have a halal menu.
Yeah. We were talking about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I went with Dave, and yeah, it was
Dope.
that excites me.
Yeah.
Like new
New
fusion, like
fusions,
Or
and
like Halal
other foods.
Italian. There aren't too
Yeah,
many of
no,
those
no.
places. There was one in Jersey that opened up, but it's like you said. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of these places don't last a
Don't
year or
last,
2
yeah.
years. So maybe
well,
the market
I mean,
wasn't ready for it.
Look,
then.
here's the thing. If you're a brown guy, like Indian, Pakistani, opening an Italian place, like I mean, I don't know how well you're gonna do unless you were like
You need Italian chefs.
you need like
Yeah.
Italian chefs.
You
and-
need an Italian
yeah.
mom. You
Like
need an
a par-
Italian
You know?
wife.
And a lot of people laugh at my story from when I was in Chicago last. I went to Italian Express, and that's a legendary spot in downtown
Yeah.
on Devon over there. So like, I love Italian Express for the spicy gyro pizza. I've always loved it.
This is in Schaumburg.
They,
right?
I think they have another
location in
location,
Schaumburg?
not Schaumburg, but I
Um,
forgot another
So
suburb.
for our fellow South Asians,
Yeah.
Arabs, everybody, Schaumburg is like the Desi South Asian area suburb of Chicago. So
Like,
they have a
yeah.
lot of the halal food, the Indian, Pakistani,
Yeah,
all of that.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
their
so
mecca.
and then Devon is like your Jackson Heights
Yeah.
or your Girard Street in Toronto, right? So, so on Devon, so I went in there and you see all of our people right behind the the counter. It's called Italian Express. And I'm looking at the menu, and I'm like, you know, what's Italian about this place? Like, there's nothing that's like, you know, they don't even have chicken parm on the menu. I don't think they did. But anyway, I was like,
I
give me the
would
spice
love
of
to
chicken.
have halal chicken parm.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I
right?
haven't had it yet to this day.
I've made it.
I mean, I've made it.
I'll make it for you.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
nice.
I'll make it.
Yeah,
when
next
you
time I'm in
come
Jersey.
to yeah.
Yeah, I made it
family-
for myself, but I've never
Yeah.
seen it on a menu anywhere.
Yeah, so, excuse me. So, yes, a lot of these things you gotta just kind of make yourself. But
Yeah.
I was like, there's nothing halal. What's Italian about it? And the guy was like, oh, we have Italian sausage, we have Italian this, that. And I'm like, man, you don't look Italian. There's nothing Italian about this place.
If,
You might as well call it Indian Express, you know?
True.
If you were to open a restaurant,
Yeah.
what would be your like go-to menu items? What would you
Man,
want?
like, so,
Solid.
halal ribs.
Yeah.
I love making ribs.
Yeah.
You know, so that's one of the halal barbecue in general would be my menu. Like having pulled chicken sandwiches, smoked turkey sandwiches, things like that. Like, it's stuff I do for myself and I make, and I would typically lean towards a barbecue restaurant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would there be like any like fusion item, like anything?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Throw a
throw
little-
some-
Maybe
maybe
a
some
chicken-
chicken parm.
a
Like,
chicken
I don't know.
parm.
Yeah, do that.
a barbecue chicken parm. I don't know.
Wow.
Do you have okay? So we have a vegetarian in the room.
Hi.
Yes.
Do you
shout
have
out.
Do you have any vegetarian haters? Does PETA ever hit you up like, dude?
I
you're-
haven't been hit up by PETA, but I think it's funny. Like I get comments here and there about inhumane. Halal is inhumane the way the meat's slaughtered and stuff, and it's quite the opposite.
How is it any more inhumane than
Than
like,
what they do
than
at-
what's going on all
Right.
over the country
Right,
in all the
exactly.
cow factories?
Can you describe why
Okay, why?
they think that?
So
why halal is less inhumane than
Right.
everything? Okay.
So when you go to slaughter the animal, right? You're supposed to give it water, feed it a proper nutrition, right? I mean, it's supposed to be raised that way, and then when it comes time to take the animal in for, I'm sorry, the kill, you're supposed to isolate it from the rest of the animals. Like, they can't see its fellow animal going through that process. And so you start reciting a prayer, right? And then the animal, from what I haven't done it myself.
But
right,
you've
that-
seen it. Have you
I've
witnessed
seen
this
it, and I've
happening?
been told that when you recite the animal calms down, it kind of submits itself to you, right? Like, it's not fighting you.
Yeah.
And then you slaughter the animal, and then you have to cut certain veins
At the
right?
jugular.
At the jugular, right?
Yeah.
And just
Drain
let
the
it
blood.
Drain the blood, so it's a cleaner kill.
Cleaner and the least painful for the animal.
Least painful for the animal. Yeah.
Got it.
So you're not. I'm sorry. I'm like trying to like say this in a.
yeah.
In a
What's like the normal way, or like not? Sorry, I don't mean to say normal,
Or
but like,
like
the
the
other
rest of the
way,
way, the other way?
the other people
so
do
they
it.
they hang the cow on a machine, and then it goes through, and then.
But
just
what
gets
like?
slaughtered.
But it's just like anything gets cut. Like what?
Yeah.
As opposed
But it's
to
an
the
assembly
jugular?
line.
It's an
the way
assembly
they do
line.
it.
Yeah. So
at, like, these
proper
major
halal
farms.
would be hand slaughtered. Yeah,
Okay.
Proper like to be halal. Yeah. So, but anyway, and that's what it is, and then you're supposed to get a cleaner meat, right?
So do they say it's inhumane
Pure.
just because of like where it's cut or something, or because you're
I don't
draining
even
the
know
blood?
the argument. I don't know where the argument is. That what it is? Because of where it's cut?
Oh,
Right.
because the
I
bleed out
know.
takes so long. Okay.
I think well, it's halal. They're supposed to. It's not hours. It's just it's certainly killed. Because that's why there's like 3 veins you have to
Yeah.
cut. I think that's what it is. But yeah, with the assembly lines and stuff where they're just just chopping them and whatever. I think that's a little more inhumane. I think. But I don't know. Could be wrong. Everyone's opinion, right? Like everyone's
Yeah.
entitled to their opinion. But I don't go to the farms. I don't watch this stuff. And but we eat the poor lamb.
You're following your religion and you're
Yeah.
providing a service to people.
Yeah,
that follow it,
absolutely,
so that's
absolutely.
pretty cool.
Yeah, because look, if you're eating meat, then we're all in this.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but hey, I should consider going vegetarian a couple days at least. Out of
Oh,
the
we were
week.
talking about for health reasons, but I was telling
I
him
tried about meat.
I'm
meat
a
as much.
vegetarian and
Yeah.
I eat like shit. So like,
She's
but I
talking
feel like
about
you would
candies
be
and stuff.
you would eat
Yeah.
more consciously. I feel like.
Yeah, I tried Meatless Mondays, inspired by the Food Network.
Mm-hmm.
I tried doing that.
Have you
and-
tried like intermittent fasting?
Yes,
That's like
yes,
a new thing everybody's
yes.
on about.
Yes. Speaking of which, what time is it here in LA? It's 1:30.
Yeah.
I've not eaten.
Food
I've not
yet.
eaten food yet. Yeah. So.
We're
Okay.
gonna go
but,
eat some lunch
But
after this.
I might have killed it with the coffee, which is fine. It's okay.
Yeah, everything in moderation.
Because
right?
my last meal was at like I think that was like 10 o'clock. I was there. Yeah.
We're
10
gonna
o'clock,
chow down
so.
after this.
Yeah, where are we going? You got any
I
good
don't know.
halal spots around here?
I
Or should
gotta look on
you gotta
Zabiha.
consult, the-
I was
We'll-
thinking
we'll
you might
find it.
know. I
Yeah,
thought
That's
you
high
might.
pressure
might.
picking a place
You
to
wanna
eat
do
with
this?
Foodie. That's
I
like
know.
I
It's
wouldn't do
always-
that.
So when
It's up to
was
you,
last
buddy.
time he was in town, we went to this place in North Hollywood called Urban Skillet.
Yes,
Oh, I've
we
been
did
there.
that.
I've been there now
I've been
3
there too.
times, and they remembered me.
Yeah.
They remembered me. They're
I
like, "Yeah,
saw
you
him
were in-"
last night. The guy, he happened to be at the Korean spot.
Yeah. So it's for those who don't know, North Hollywood Urban Skillet halal
Yeah,
burger place, and the burgers are great.
definitely.
Yeah,
definitely,
delicious.
Yeah, no, it's one of the spots I recommend to a lot of people. But yeah, who knows what we'll do today? Right?
Yeah.
I'm already looking it up. You
Should
got
we ask a few of
Yeah.
our last questions
Yeah.
as we wrap up?
Let's
Sure.
ask.
We have a few set questions that we ask our guests.
Okay,
One
yeah.
of them is who is your favorite South Asian, Middle Eastern celebrity?
And you're friends with some celebrities.
Yeah.
So I.
I'm intimidated now.
Yeah.
Who's your
Who, like, personal friend, or like who
no?
do
Just
I
a
just like?
celebrity
No, like,
you
who's your-
admire,
Oh, who I admire,
or you like, or you.
there's a couple of those. It's a tough one. So Middle Eastern, I admire Khaled, DJ Khaled.
Oh,
And-
DJ Khaled is like, I feel like he's like your personal spirit animal.
Yeah, because we're very similar in ways
And
and
he's
mannerisms and stuff.
Okay,
And
when
it's not like I'm
DJ
trying to be
Khaled-
like him. It just
Is
turns
he always
out that
like
way.
Samir's eats?
No,
like,
no, yeah.
Okay, remember? You guys remember like
No.
2 years ago when DJ Khaled was popping off on Snapchat?
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
guy was like repeating like his like
Mm.
taglines. He would be in the
That's
hot
so
tub.
funny.
He would be in the hot
Oh,
tub,
the shower.
walking in the shower.
That is
Oh,
so
the shower.
funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was funny. He was
Yeah, what was
watering
it like?
He
Bless
was
up
just-
and all these
he was
other
just watering
sayings.
plants.
Yeah.
And stuff. Now look at it. You don't see any of that.
He doesn't water plants
He
anymore.
doesn't
What
water
happened to you,
plants.
Khaled?
I know.
He doesn't-
Get back
he-
to
he
your
doesn't take
literal.
a shower.
Get back to your literal roots.
No, because he literally was.
We clowned him
showing
so
his, like-
hard. Yeah.
Yeah, with the Dove, like he was promoting Dove. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't even know if he was being paid. I think that's why he stopped doing it because he wasn't getting paid for it.
Right,
I
right.
think. I don't know.
That's
my
so
theory.
funny. Dove is like, please stop.
But I think it's funny how I think you were in DJ Khaled's vicinity or something, and you were such a fanboy about
Oh,
it.
yeah,
I was
absolutely. 'Cause
laughing
that was
so
like
hard.
That was like the first time I met him was in the city, in Manhattan. He was at a studio, and then he came outside, and he got us all in the snap. So that was like, and people are texting me like, "We saw you."
That's so funny.
But now it's like every time I see him, he knows me. Like he knows, right?
He
Like-
knows
like-
who you are. He knows you're a big fan
Yeah,
too,
yeah,
right?
He knows because I always give him salam. That's the first thing I
You
do.
give him salam, but also like you're at like Friday prayers, you're at Jummah prayers, and you're like, "Yo, DJ Khaled, where you at? I'm at prayers.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
coming? You coming
Yeah.
through?"
And his Insta? That is so funny.
I mean, yeah,
I'm like,
Hey, look.
one day this is gonna happen, and I'm gonna be
you
like
never know.
so
You
happy about
You never
it.
know. You never know.
I keep
It's-
soliciting
I don't
tan,
judge people. so-
tan France from Queer Eye for a hug on my Instagram. That's like my
Yeah.
my big
Yeah.
movement.
Yeah.
Wait, so that's your favorite Middle Eastern South Asian celebrity?
Yeah, and then South Asian.
So
Oh,
DJ
yeah.
Khaled's your
Well,
favorite Middle Eastern, okay?
Let's see. So, and I might be biased here because now, I've gotten to know him over the years. Hassan Minaj, obviously.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Shout out.
I have a question to ask.
Yeah.
Are his eyelashes longer than mine?
I'm thinking Samir's eyelashes are longer than
Yo,
yours.
Yo,
I have
Samir's
yeah.
got
long-
mad
no, I
eyelashes.
don't-
I
I
used
am
to have
so
girls come
upset.
up to me and say, I would kill for your eyelashes.
Dude,
yeah,
I feel
dude,
like
I think his are
like-
longer than yours.
They're,
Samir.
they might be. I don't know if this is like a
And
thing,
people
but like
ask me if I do my eyebrows. I go, no, I don't. I
you
Oh,
do have beautiful
damn.
eyebrows. You have
I'm
great
natural,
eyebrows.
baby. Look,
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
natural.
Dude, these Muslim boys, I swear, some of them are
Yeah.
just like the prettiest boys you've seen
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll go for the mani petty.
Yeah, you
Hell
take
yeah,
care of
Take
yourself.
care of that shit.
But yeah,
Are
I'm
you
not,
going
like,
to
skincare and
mani
all that.
pedis, getting your eyebrows done with Hassan? Is that are you guys
No.
at that level yet?
No.
Him,
No,
Hassan,
no.
DJ Khaled, they're just out there.
Yeah.
Yo,
Yeah, but,
DJ Khaled's all about the
But
mani
to
pedis
see
though.
him make it, right? Like, he was doing MSA comedies and
Yeah.
just kind of come up. And, you know, when he moved to New York, he reached out and you know, we hung out.
Yeah.
Like, a lot. We
It's
used to
pretty
hang out a
cool
lot.
to like witness people's journeys
Yeah,
when they're on the
yeah,
come up and all of that,
absolutely, yeah.
right?
That's so dope.
Yeah, because we grabbed some food and, you know,
And
we
he's
were
a good-
Facebook friends.
He's a good Muslim boy. Like he
Yeah, right,
prays
right,
and
yeah,
like
of
he's also
course.
eating halal and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I mean.
have
for
you
the
guys
most
been on
part,
halal foodie
Yeah.
adventures?
I mean, here and there.
Yeah.
We've had a few meals together. Actually, he was in my neighborhood in New Jersey. He
Mhm.
was coming back from a trip, and him and his wife Bina, they hit me up, and so they're like, "Yo, I want chicken kebab. Where are we gonna go?" So I sent them to. Well, I met up with them at Kebab on the Cliff in Ridgewood. So we had a little
Which is
lunch
on
there.
your gram a lot. I need to
love that
go.
place.
This is why I keep saying every time I'm in
Yeah,
Jersey,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
can we please go
Let's
eat something? Yeah.
Like, I love Persian food. So
Have you ever thought about like asking him or like some of the other celebrities
Yeah.
you know to be on an episode or?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know about Hassan now because he's too big.
He's so busy.
He's a
Hey, Get brought
superstar.
out,
He's too
get brought
busy.
out during deep cuts. You know how he does
Yeah.
that
I
like in
mean-
between
Yep,
thing. That's cool.
Yeah.
So
maybe.
we also have another question. We usually when it's a non brown person, we ask them what dumb stereotype they have about us, like if they have any dumb questions. But has that
Oh.
happened to you recently, where somebody's asked you like a dumb question or?
It's happened, but I can't think of anything right off the top of my head. Like they'll be like, "Oh, you're Muslim, but you're brown. Like you're not Arabic." I'm like,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I've
weird.
gotten that. So
Yeah, I don't
it's like, oh no,
understand.
there's Indian Muslims out there.
Yeah.
There's a lot. Like Muslims are not just Arab, which
Yeah,
is very
exactly.
confusing to
Yeah.
me because there's an
There's
entire.
like, there's like black Muslims. There's
Yeah,
so many
and
Muslims.
there's like so,
So
many.
many.
like-
There's more
yeah.
Muslims in the world than any other religion,
Yeah.
and
Right.
people forget that. Like, there's Caucasian, there's Eastern European, Caucasian Muslims, there's Arab
Asian.
Muslims, there's Asian,
yeah.
East Asian, South Asian.
And there's a lot of Muslims
know.
that people didn't know were Muslim, like in the
Yeah.
celebrity world, right?
Yeah.
You know, like
People don't always
Lupe
talk about it.
Fiasco
Lindsay
or
Lohan.
Shaq.
Is
you know,
Lindsay-
like-
is Lindsay Lohan
is a
Muslim now?
I
Muslim
don't
now, I
know.
think. Yeah, she is.
Oh well, there is an
No.
argument.
Yeah. She's trying to be Muslim or something.
Well, I
Well,
think
she was
is.
trying to be. I
Isn't-
don't think she actually
Isn't
is.
Janet
She might
Jackson
be,
a
I don't
Muslim
know.
now too?
Yeah.
And isn't
Jackson.
Rihanna converting or something?
Yo,
like,
it's that
No,
Saudi.
I
it's
don't
happening,
It's
man.
that Saudi love.
It's happening. All
I
right, we
don't
taking
know.
over. We taking over. Half the NFL fast during Ramadan,
Oh,
right?
God.
Yeah.
So
There's players on
there's
on the
players
NFL
out
that
there.
you know.
Wow.
I wouldn't say half. I don't know.
I wouldn't say half, but it might
There's a
get there.
couple-
You
couple
never
people,
know. It
yeah.
might get there.
Yeah, a
That's so
couple
funny.
people out there. Shout out to
is
all
there
the people fasting while
hell yeah?
playing.
Is there anywhere we could find you or anything you want to plug other than Samir's Eats, which is on
You
YouTube?
know, just, you want to know about my journey on a daily basis, just follow me on Instagram or Snapchat, which I'm slowly, slowly backing away from it because
Yo,
I
I
like
just.
Instagram.
Do you
I don't
feel
know.
like it's too much? Are you ever like
Yeah.
just over
Sometimes I'm just like-
exhausted and overextended with all the social media?
Yeah, sometimes I'm just like, screw it. Like,
Yeah.
what am I doing? Like,
Yeah.
stop it. But then I do it, right?
Mhm.
And people message me, be like, hey, are you okay?
Mm.
Like, legit.
Yeah.
Like, people think that something happened to me.
Well, you
because-
have fans.
That's nice.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah, I
fans
know,
that
there's people-
demand that you post everything about your life.
Sure.
You
and
know?
I care. You know, I try to post as much relevant stuff, but you know what? If it's part of my life, I'm still posting it, you know?
Yeah.
Some people will be like, oh man, this has nothing to do with halal food or anything. Like, dude, that's not my life. Like, my life is not just halal food.
That's so
I
funny.
have different dimensions.
Yeah,
to
you
my
hang
life.
you hang out in your hot tub. You go work out.
I work out, you know, I hang out with
DJ
family,
Samir.
all right? You know, so I have family, I got, nephews and niece.
And
So-
you're a very social guy too.
Yeah.
Like you hang out in the city and all of that. So like I
Sure.
feel like I like that your social media is more than just your foodie
Yeah, just
adventures.
food.
You know.
And a lot of people follow me for the food, which is great.
Yeah.
Fine, but everything else comes with it too. So
Yeah.
it turns into like a lifestyle
Yeah.
thing.
So what is your handle on
At
Instagram?
Samir's Eats, SameerSeats, or Samir Seats.
Oh, that's smart.
Samir Seats. That's
I
better.
sell seats,
Sell
chairs.
seats.
And on YouTube.
Same thing. Samir's everything is Samir's Eats. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Dope.
I'm Pallavi Ganalan, Pallavi Ganalan.
Hey, you know what? I
Nuts.
want to ask you, what's your favorite like vegetarian meal to eat?
My favorite vegetarian meal.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been like really into Thai food
Yeah,
lately,
okay,
so I
good.
like pad see ew or pad kimao or
Nice.
Penang
Yeah.
curry if they can make the broth vegetarian. So I like, but I like it like spicy
Right.
and everything.
And that's the thing, being halal, you could also be vegetarian, right?
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. I mean, in
Uh,
college, because I couldn't figure out all the halal options,
Yeah.
I was a vegetarian for like a good year,
Yeah.
or a pescatarian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pescatarian, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm like open. I'm not a foodie as much. I feel like I'm all, like that's the thing that I've like sacrificed and I've also like taken for granted because my mom was such a good cook and I would just like
Yeah.
eat her food and then like never learn how to do it on my own.
Yeah.
And when I have like sometimes when I'll be by myself, I'm like, oh, like maybe I'll figure out a dish or two,
Sure.
and I can figure it out, but then I just don't. That's like not where I put my
Yeah,
thoughts. You know
yeah.
what I mean? But I appreciate good food. I'm always like, oh, I'd love to
Absolutely.
go for a good meal, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Mine is like mine's falafel.
Oh,
I love
nice.
falafel. right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, Mamoon's used to be halal, but I
Oh
still
wait,
go,
it's not
it's-
anymore.
No, it's not. It hasn't been for like 4 years.
What?
They couldn't. What happened is their meat supplier got bought out by someone else. And
Did
he
they
didn't
make
keep
an
it, so
announcement and I just like missed it?
I made the announcement.
You made the announcement for.
And then and that's the thing. Like I had people tell me to boycott them and not eat. I'm like, why? I started with
The
Mamoon's
falafel's
on
still good. The falafel's still.
falafel is still great.
Yeah.
So that's one of my spots I go
Yeah.
to. And they've franchised out. I think they have a location. Well, aside from the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut area, they have a spot in Dallas now.
Oh,
so.
awesome. Well, we're
But
going
if
in.
you come out there,
We're
you
coming to
know
New
that.
York soon.
We're
August
coming to New York.
30th is our next
August
show.
30th. Come, bring your
11
friends. Bring your
11:30
fans.
Oh,
PM.
August 30th?
It's the Friday before Labor Day weekend.
At
I'll be
NYC,
out of
Gramercy.
town.
But
Ooh.
you know,
Send
just
your friends.
send your friends.
Send to my friends,
Send
yeah.
all the halalis and the non-halalis.
Maybe we
Send all
can
the
find
Harabis.
maybe afterwards we could find a halal place to hang out and eat.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be
Sure.
good.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're at Facial Recognition Comedy, and
Oh yeah, we were in the middle of our social media tags.
Oh,
yeah.
that's
and we
what- sorry, I
no,
forgot.
I love that you asked that. And our next show is August 30th, 11:30 p.m.
At the New York Comedy Club.
FRC promo code.
Yes,
Wow.
please use. Okay, I'm going to be completely honest. For any of our fans in New York, if you're coming to the show, use the promo code FRC for $10 off. And I will be honest, if you don't use the promo code FRC, we don't make money off
Yeah,
the ticket.
The
So
club makes money.
if
We
you
don't
think
make
you're
money.
being being nice and not using the promo code and giving us all the money, you're not giving us any of the money.
Yes.
So
Oh,
use the promo code because that's the deal that we have with the club. Promo code FRC if you're buying tickets
Cool.
for the August 30th show. Again, it's Friday, 11:30 p.m. It's the
Yeah.
Friday before Labor Day weekend. If you're in town, if you have any friends in town, please
Sure.
come. We'd love to see you guys.
Also, our next show in LA at Westside Comedy Theater in Santa Monica at 9 p.m. is September 8th. We have a really dope lineup, so please come through for that.
Yes. So you got New York, we got LA. Come through. And
Your social media?
my social media is really Zara on all the things. Zara is spelled Zahra.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much for being
awesome.
here.
Thank you,
always a
Samir.
pleasure. No, thanks. Hey, always nice to see people from back home in Jersey,
Yeah.
doing big things out here in LA.
I'm proud of you, man.
No,
Oh,
chilling,
so
brother.
much
Thank
love.
you.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Toodles.